Alright, let me know when you guys are, Is it up? It doesn't show me that it's up. Yeah, it says it's offline for me. You refresh. All right. Alright. Apparently I can monetize this with ads, but I'm not gonna do that. No. Maybe later. Alright. So we're back. And better than ever. And so we're gonna try this again. Alright? Yeah, we're coming back with clean faces. Clean minds. Okay. So there's I don't know. There's lots of stuff to talk about. So I'm trying to figure out a good place to start, I guess. So let's just start with the basics, okay? You have the Empire of Man, right? The Empire of Man is made up of multiple provinces led by the elector counts, essentially. Just think of like barons, essentially, or dukes. See, for example, this region here, Averland, is ruled by Graf Sigurd III of Averland. However, he basically answers to the Emperor. So Emperor Siegfried II of the Imperial Reichland. For the purposes of this mod, mind you, that's not actually who the Emperor is. In, quote, modern day, unquote, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Technically, that's Karl Franz, who's going to be in the new Total War game. You also have other places, like again, of the Empire. So right here, the Imperial Westerland, and so on. What's currently going on in this time period to the Empire is the vampire counts have basically come out as vampires. Before, Sylvania was just another duchy, essentially, of the Empire under Vlad von Karstein, right? And no one knew he was a vampire, but it started getting kind of fishy when he's basically been alive for 200 some odd years. And people were starting to get suspicious and really get into it. And eventually he just came out, and now he has raised an army of the undead, zombies and skeletons and shit, and he is raging across the Empire, taking it over, as we can see is currently happening here. Yeah? And, yeah. Eventually, according to Warhammer 40k lore, he would lose. He would be defeated by the Empire. So, let me talk about Bretonnia real quick, because Bretonnia is probably one of the easiest to talk about. My asshole Canadian friend is not here today. Don't worry, he will join me again another time. Bretonnia is literally a French version of King Arthur and the Holy Grail. Like, I mean, they've got the chivalric knights, and their god is the Lady of the Lake, who passes out like weapons and shit, and you never really see it, but she's the god, she's the Lady of the Lake, so on. And there's even the Fey Enchantress. And yeah, there's the whole modern, like, basically the end times is pretty much like how Arthur's kingdom, what happened to Arthur, and so on. And yes. So it's pretty simple. Bretonnia is pretty much Arthur of Camelot, essentially, and this is his kingdom. The one big difference between Bretonnia and Arthur was Bretonnia. The people who aren't knights, the non-nobility, have absolutely fucking miserable lives. Like, I mean, they are the dirt is more valuable than the peasants and serfs of Bretonnia. The people, like, essentially, there's a story of the guy who invented the trebuchet in Bretonnia. Was just a lowly peasant. And this peasant brought his design to the king. This mod is called the Geheimnisnacht mod, by the way. And basically, this peasant brought the design for the trebuchet to the king. And the king gave him 3 pigs for this feat. However, he had to pay the tax for the basically for what he was receiving. So the tax on peasants is 90%. So he had to give 2 of the pigs back, and he only got 1 pig. Just to give you an idea, the average peasant in Bretonnia only gets to keep 10% of what they grow, and 90% is taken by the lord of the land, and so on, and it goes all the way up. So yeah. I mean, it's pretty shitty to be a serf and or peasant in Bretonnia. A lot of these other places, like here, I can't remember. This is Estalia, I think it is. This area, there's not a bunch of lore about this area. There's not much to be found. This is Telea, and same thing. There's not much lore to be found that they ever made. But you also have orcs. And orcs are fucking riddled all over the place. They're everywhere. There are orcs fucking everywhere in this mod. I mean, you can just look around. They're everywhere. Yes. And then Kislev. Kislev's somebody else who's probably very important to mention. Kislev is led by the Ice Queen. Essentially, Kislev is the border between the Chaos Wastes, which is everything above this line, pretty much. Just assume all of this is Chaos Wastes. And Kislev is usually the one who takes the brunt of the hit. Kislev are the guys who look like Ukrainian Cossacks. Yeah. So it's interesting. And yeah, it's also very depressing to hear what happens to Kislev in the end times. Yes, they were the first. They were the first to fall. Yet their sacrifice bought time that really meant nothing in the end. But that's the end times for you, right? Now the dwarves. Again, I'm giving very, very summed up versions because I am still very new to the fantasy battle lore, and I'm probably not very good at explaining it. 40k I'm much better at because that's something I've been into for the past 10 years. But yeah, anyway. So the dwarves, there's a bunch of kings, essentially, of various holds in the mountain and whatnot. Again, like I was mentioning before, there's different Karaks is what they're called. Here's Zufbar, or no, sorry, this is This is Zufbarak, I think it is. Yeah, Zufbarak. And then Kandranakor and Angkor, or Karazankor is what that one's called. And so on. There's a bunch of them. They're all in the mountain, and they're all in mountains, so they're pretty easy to find. Especially in this one. Like, say, they just literally line up through the mountains. Because, you know, that's what dwarves are. And see, the big difference between Lord of the Rings dwarves and Warhammer dwarfs are literally that. Dwarfs and dwarves. the difference between an F and a VES, right? Yeah, it's not many people really pay any attention to that. But anyway, so the dwarves. Basically, the dwarves are the most technologically advanced race in the Warhammer universe. They have cannons and there's basically a battleship that is in the prototype stages, which is a giant fucking Zeppelin battleship that has cannons and shit. And the dwarves don't change technology very easily. It's all in the power of guilds, and guilds are very high on prestige and so on. So they're not really big on letting anybody else in, letting new designs go through, and so on. They're kind of caught up in their own little worlds. And like I said, the dwarves are a very proud race. You know, they actually grow their beards. Like their beards are pretty much like the most important thing for them. Beards and honor. Beards, honor, and beer. Literally is how you could explain the dwarves. As far as the games are concerned, they're really heavy infantry. They're pretty much the toughest infantry in the game. Nobody can really go toe-to-toe with dwarves and win. The only armor that's as powerful or as strong and tough as dwarven armor would be the armor that like Chaos Knights wear. But that's metal that's been infused with the power of chaos, hence making it so powerful. One really interesting thing about Warhammer 40k also, by the way, is how magic works. Now, it's never really been explained how magic works in the Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I keep saying 40k. How in Fantasy Battle, it doesn't really explain how magic is worked, or at least Games Workshop doesn't. But a very, very popular theory is that all magic is derived from chaos, which chaos in the Warhammer universe, both 40k and Fantasy Battle, is the concept of emotion, essentially. Like, you know, that's why you have four gods who pretty much they encompass certain things, like corn, you know, the blood of God, or the blood god, sorry, the blood god, you know, skulls for the skull throne, rage and anger. Those are the primary traits, and then like Slanesh, ooh yes, look, we're gonna try to kill Vlad von Karstein and see if that works. And by the way, look, there's Mordheim, yeah, Mordheim, yeah. Anyway. Like I said, and then Slanesh, you know, the chaos god of pleasure and hedonism and so on and so forth, all that good, beautiful stuff. So, basically, the concept of magic is believed that if you believe in it, it can happen, essentially. If you believe that you are immune, that you're let's say you have a wizard, and he casts, unquote, a magical shield of protection on you. If you believe that he did it, then he fucking did it. And that's kind of the theory. Ah, yes, look, he drank poison wine and he died. Fuck you. What's his name? Vlad. Fuck you, Vlad. Wait, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. We gotta speed it up. He's not dead. That's no bueno. Why are you not dead, Vlad? What the fuck? Vlad's not dead. That's no bueno. Okay, that's no bueno. Anyway, so with that in mind, like I said, the whole concept of magic, basically being a thought process, and then that's kind of like I said, where chaos comes into play. Chaos is the the darker side of emotion. You know, that's kind of where they all came from. Like even in Warhammer 40k, chaos didn't really start thriving until humanity really started growing in consciousness and then started experimenting with various feelings and whatnot. Or at least that's supposedly when chaos started becoming really powerful. Now keep in mind, like with 40k, Slaanesh was born you know, because of the hedonistic tendencies of the Eldar Empire. Which basically he ripped himself into existence, thus killing off the Eldar Empire. The Eldar being the high elf equivalents in 40k. But yeah, so, you know, that whole idea of emotion and thought and belief is really what drives the magical forces in Warhammer. Like, if you believe that you have a god, then that god, and enough, now not just yourself, generally you have to have a lot of people believing it. Like the whole idea that the Lady of the Lake for Bretonnia, no one really understands why she's so powerful. It's never explained. Like, how is she almost as powerful as a chaos god? That must mean she is a chaos god, because there's no beings in the universe that are even close to being as powerful as the chaos gods, yet somehow the Lady of the Lake is. Somehow Sigmar, who was just a regular man, ends up being the savior of, well, sort of, the savior of the Warhammer world during the end times, when, you know, he was just originally a regular man. Now, albeit a very skilled and powerful man, but still a regular man nonetheless. So, I mean, the discussion is, magic's interesting. It's very interesting in this particular universe because you don't know exactly who's what, and like, if the Lady of the Lake, this supposedly benevolent being, is actually just it's a being of chaos that shows feeling and emotion towards Bretonnians, the humans. So, I mean, it's interesting. But anyway, sorry, I kind of got dragged off there. Have I thought about 3D printers can kill Games Workshop? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if they become, you know, when they become more commercially viable for, you know, regular people, yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, the thing with Games Workshop is they have a niche product that a majority of people don't really have much of an interest in. Let's be honest. I mean, the universe is incredibly interesting, but how many people are actually that interested in playing the tabletop? I mean, I know I am. I know I would absolutely fucking love to be able to afford those figurines, but I mean, I'm not their demographic, like, money-wise. I'm not who they're trying to sell their product to. They're trying to sell it to generally middle-aged men who have their careers and who are making money and so on and so forth. That's who they're aiming for. So that's why they charge prices the way they do. Because middle-aged men who pretty much, you know, they're making money and have their lives in order and all that good stuff are the ones who go out and buy every single figurine for their given army, and who buy all the paints needed to paint those armies. It's not generally, you know, 15 to 23-year-old males who, you know, are going to school or who are unemployed, so on and so forth. Again, I would absolutely love them to put me in their demographic and start charging less. That would be great, because then I think they would survive. But, I mean, they are throwing around the IP left and right to everybody who'll take it right now. So they're getting their money. I'm sure they're not doing well, but I also don't think they're doing that bad. Especially the fact that they managed to secure a deal with fucking Sega for Total War Warhammer. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Personally, at least I think so. And the fact that there's so many Warhammer games coming out right now. Again, a lot of them are tablets and mobile pieces, and that's kind of a bummer, but you know, whatever. At least to me, I look at it from the positive side. I'm just so happy that more Warhammer games are coming out, because finally this universe that I'm so interested in and I have so much love and care for is finally getting some deserved attention from people of all different backgrounds. Because this, honestly, is one of the richest universes you will ever put your hands into. And I doubt, there is not much that competes as far as lore goes. And I'm not doing a very good job of explaining the lore, because it's a lot better than I'm making it out to be. But again, I'm still new to the fantasy battle. I'm much more of a 40k kind of guy, as far as lore is concerned. But fantasy battle to me I'm very sad that Age of Sigmar happened. Let's just say that. I'm very sad that the end times happened, because there were so many more potential stories. No, if anything, Matt Ward kept it reeled in. Matt Ward had, like, yeah, sure, people didn't like Matt Ward, but at least he kept it fucking together. The moment they get rid of Matt Ward, what happens? End times, Age of Sigmar. It's just like, jeez. Holy crap. Pretty much, just so you guys who don't know what I'm talking about in terms of end times and what Age of Sigmar is, let's say you take Lord of the Rings, right? Sauron wins and destroys Middle-earth. That's how the Lord of the Rings ends. That's how it fucking ends. Like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, And then Age of Sigmar is like, okay, we realize we made a fucking mistake because, you know, we fucking destroyed the world. And let's go. Let's turn around and let's bring it back in some fucking World of Warcraft-esque style. And it's just like, why? I mean, if you're... and see, my thing is, the end times, that's fine if that's the end. But see, you could have just gone back and made more stories. Like, I mean, there's no reason that, you know, thousands of years worth of history can't be continued by some degree to some point. You've already created a very rich world. Throw some stories in it. Make some more stories. Add some more lore so people know what's going on. But yeah, Age of Sigmar is like, no, we want to move forward with our destroyed universe, even though we fucking killed it, and it makes no sense. And see, this is the reason that people try to argue with me. No, Age of Sigmar is fine. Yeah, sure, the rule set's pretty cool, yeah, but the lore doesn't make any sense, because Chaos does not want the world to be destroyed. That's the big thing here. Chaos does not win from a destroyed world. The Chaos Gods derive their power, they derive their essence from the existence of emotion, as I was talking about previously. Without the existence of emotion, without, you know, people to have emotions, to be afraid, to be angry, you know, for like Nurgle to be able to throw those plagues onto, or for people to have pleasure for Slaanesh, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Because the whole idea that the world has been, like, Chaos is going to destroy the world. Okay, we destroyed it, we won. Why? What now? Oh, we're going to go to another world? Then why didn't they? That's the thing, though, because everybody's like, well, they did it, so they were just going to move on to another world and, you know, feed off that. Then why didn't they? They stayed. Sigmar, Ozan, despite what Necron Resistance Leader is saying, completely unbiased, Sigmar was a human who essentially united many different smaller human tribes and kingdoms into one great empire called the Empire of Man. And he essentially ascended to God status upon his death, according to humans, according to the Imperials. Oh, she's starting to fancy me? I don't know if I want to fancy her. Ooh, but she is brilliant. Wouldn't mind having a kid like that. Anyway, so Sigmar pretty much became what all humans, not all humans, I'm sorry, what the Imperials kind of praised. They were like, he was pretty much like, yes, praise Sigmar, and so on and so forth. He was kind of like, he was the great unifier of humanity for the Empire. He's what kind of fought back against the orcs, and he fought back against chaos and so what. So he was a very, very powerful, and probably the most powerful human to ever exist. And it wouldn't be until the end times where he comes back in the final battle against chaos and loses. Yeah. Oh wow, she took command of the vampire, the Karsten ring. So she's the immortal undead ruler now. Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people think that Sigmar is going to end up being the Emperor. I don't think so, because the world, that still does not, unless they go and completely change the 40k lore, there's no way they can work that in. Like, I mean, of course they can. Games Workshop has said 40k lore is a mixture of propaganda and hearsay, so, I mean, it's possible they can do that. Ozan, to be honest, I would probably compare the Emperor of Mankind more to Jesus than I would Sigmar. I mean, Sigmar has similar traits, but Sigmar is I don't know, he's different. But the Emperor of Mankind is most certainly a play on Jesus. Like, it's kind of disturbing how much of a play on Jesus he is. But anyway, yeah, Warhammer's metaphysics doesn't... Making history gold. 100%. Making history gold is probably my favorite turn-based strategy geopolitical game of all time. I fucking love Making History Gold with a passion, with a sweet, delicious passion. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Superpower 2 with a sweet, delicious passion as well. But yeah, I really like Making History Gold. Yeah, so by the way, I want to read what Atheological Potato said. I kind of missed that. So, Warhammer's metaphysics doesn't make any logical sense. The lore assumes fadeism and transcendental idealism, whereas epistemic mental representations constitute... Yeah, so sorry, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm one of those people who can talk, but I'm not so... I'm okay with big words, but not when we're talking like philosophy-esque shit. It's a little bit too... I understand the ideas, I don't know what they're called, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. The thing about Making History Gold, though, and something that should be... it's something that you have to get into, I suppose. Like, basically, what I'm trying to say here, I know it's not a very good game. It's a game that has many flaws. It's not perfect. I mean, it's not bad. It's about average. But it doesn't do anything that no other game does. I just like the simplicity of it, the ease, yet the minute amount of depth it also has. I don't know. It's different. Oh, basically, I want you to think something really hard to manifest. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I got you, Potato. trust me, I'm not stupid, but you threw some big words at me, and it's 9:40, so be careful with that. Be careful. Commissar, in case you missed, if you will want to read something non-Warhammer, read those Arkady and Boris Strutgatsi Noon Universe. What is that? I don't know what that is. If the Sigmar and the Emperor being the same person theory is to be believed, then yes, that is correct. Then that would mean this planet is indeed infected by orc mushroom spores, basically. Orc spores. Which I find it hard to believe that in this planet's 10,000 year history of recorded Warhammer Fantasy Battle history, there has never, ever been a Space Marine, there's never been a whatever Marine, there's never been anything. And what even furthers the idea... Yes, there are orcs and goblins. Here, I'll just show you. See, there's an orc, for example, Grishnak Vulgar. And let me see. Yeah, there's a goblin right there. Boss Zub of Shade. And also, it looks like the Chaos Dwarves are getting their asses kicked by the orcs. I don't know what's going on over there. But this is the Chaos Dwarves, and they are getting beat. Oh, they're having a rebellion. Ooh, that's no bueno. But see, look, they've lost their capital. That's the important part. Zarnagrund. But, anyway. Alright, Marshall. I will most certainly do that. I'll check that out. But what I was saying, though, about, like, the reason why I don't believe Age of Sigmar can lead into 40k is with the addition of the Stormcast. Again, it makes no fucking sense how Sigmar basically recreates the universe. He didn't even it's not even that he recreated the world. He recreated the universes, and he brought back all these races. Like, I mean, the orcs were dead and gone. Yet Sigmar's like, I'm gonna bring back Gork and Mork, the gods of the orcs, and combine them into one. It's like, what? No, stop. Just stop. I think the lore is absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid. I don't know who the fuck they got to write that shit, but it's just, I don't know. In my opinion, it's bad. I think it's bad. It just seems very poorly written. Whereas in all these, and even 40k and Fantasy Battle, you have all this very beautiful, in-depth, linked lore that sometimes contradicts itself, for sure, yeah? But, I mean, overall, you've got a pretty intricate web that's been weaved, and it's awesome. Ozan. No. There's a reason why. There's a reason why despite what this mod is showing you right now, with there being a Bretonnian revolt. Aside from some, I can't remember his name, but basically it was a play on Mordred, the guy who rebelled against King Arthur. Aside from that, the peasants are kept in such a severely broken down state, essentially, that they don't even think there is anything outside of what they know. So that existence is the only existence they know, and ambition is quite brutal in Bretonnia. For example, let's say one peasant decides he is going to keep a little bit of extra food. That instead of paying 90%, he's going to keep an extra 1% for himself and hide it. If the Lord finds out, the Lord doesn't just kill him. He kills him. He kills all his friends. And he kills his entire family, cousins, grandparents, assuming his grandparents are alive, and distant relations. In Bretonnia, the peasants are quite literally... It is bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. I mean, that could be, I mean, you know, that could be what Gork and Mork is based off of, but, like, maybe. I don't know. Gork and Mork are pretty simple gods as far as gods are concerned. They're just, they like to fight, yeah, they'll cook anything, yeah. So, yeah, Bretonnia is exactly like North Korea. They're like North Korea, yet they have chivalric knights and damsels in distress and kings and a supernatural lady who lives in a lake. The peasants are very, like I said, it's very brutal. Like, life in Bretonnia is brutal, but see, they don't know anything else, so it's not like, oh, you know, they yearn for a different existence. That's just what they know, so that's what they accept. And again, they don't have much of a choice in the matter. They have to take it as it is. That is their land. That is their lives for you. Now, again, you know, their other races. Pretty much, Bretonnia is probably one of the most brutal to its own people as far as it goes. Like, everybody else is still pretty, you know, like in the Empire, for example, aside from the constant chaos raids and, you know, currently what's going on by Sylvania, which, keep in mind, this only happens to this level and this magnitude. This only happened once. But aside from that, I mean, you know, it's not bad living in these other places. It's better than living in Bretonnia, huh? But again, Bretonnia is a really cool faction, though. Like, as far as their units and the way their units look and stuff like that, and they used to have the most powerful cavalry in the game before Age of Sigmar. I don't know how powerful they are now, but from what I hear, they've been nerfed to hell and back again. So yeah. I mean, that's a big deal. So, did anyone have any other questions? I mean, I could keep talking. I could just keep talking about lore and stuff, but if questions make it easier to be able to kind of answer. I could talk about the Chaos Dwarves. It's kind of interesting. I know more about the Chaos Dwarves than I do the actual Dwarves. Just because their lore is much simpler, methinks. More vampires. Okay. Let me talk about the Chaos Dwarfs first, and then I'll talk about the vampire counts. So the Chaos Dwarfs, obviously dwarves. They're not direct worshippers of chaos, despite what their name might presume, or make you presume anyway. The Chaos Dwarves are actually a group of dwarves that went east. So as a dwarf, could you crusade against orcs or other races? Yes. It's not really called a crusade. In this, as far as this game is concerned, it's called an extermination. And that's kind of where I fucked up here, is I didn't take these regions over as a... Yeah, see, I can't even destroy that. I didn't take it over as an extermination. I took it over as a conquest. Now that I've taken it over as a fucking conquest, I can't fix this shit. Well, yeah, I can. Look, cleanse. Haha. Yeah. Sounds reasonable. All right, let's cleanse this bitch. All right, sorry. Anyway, so Chaos Dwarves. Let me hit on those real quick, and I'll get back to vampires. So the Chaos Dwarves, like I said, they are a group of dwarves that went east after the War of the Beard, which was that giant war between the elves and the dwarves that I was talking about. And essentially, what happened was they fell out of contact with their western brethren. Basically, all the guys over here in the mountains and whatnot. Yeah, those fellows. Yeah, they kind of disappeared off the map, and the Chaos Dwarves were attacked constantly by orcs. As we can see just by this map here, there's orcs here, there's orcs here, there's orcs here, there's orcs here. Oh no, these are both Chaos Dwarves. Well, these are new. These guys weren't always here. The Dawizag, they weren't always there. Those are the Chaos Dwarves, by the way. But yeah. See, they've spread downwards. But anyway, you get the overall gist. And essentially, they traveled through the wastes, the deserts, unable to find a home, a place to settle down where they were safe from the orcs and goblins, raids and whatnot. Now, they had some of the strongest armor. Of course, they were dwarves. And some of the strongest weapons known to the Warhammer world. But again, there just weren't enough of them. But there were plenty of greenskins. So eventually, they came upon a demon. Now again, keep in mind, this lore might not be lore anymore. This might be retconned out. But, you know, the book hasn't been updated with the Chaos Dwarves for a very long time, so you don't know. Anyway, basically the Chaos Dwarves met a demon. A demon who had been kicked out of chaos, the heavens, quote-unquote, by the other chaos gods, named Hashut. And Hashut was like, hey, yo, you guys worship me and believe in me so I don't fade into nothing, and I'll give you guys a home. So they did. And he led them here, which is Zarnagrund, which is basically a giant crater, and that's where they started building up their civilization. Hashut also taught them magic, how to use sorcery. Now keep in mind, the other dwarves abhor sorcery. They believe, again, remember me telling you about that you believe in it and it happens type thing. They believe that they cannot use magic, that they will not use magic, and that magic can't work on them. And as such, dwarves have a very high resistance to magic, but they have no ability to use it. So, the Chaos Dwarves are a pretty big offshoot because they can use magic. So, they use their sorcery and their weapons of war to beat the shit out of all the greenskins around them and building an empire. Unfortunately, the Chaos Dwarves have a nasty little penchant for slaves. They love to have slaves who do all their work for them because, come on, they're above all the menial labor, right? So, with that in mind, they have more slaves than they do people. Now, generally, what happens when you have more slaves than you do people is the slaves start to catch on to the fact that there are more of them than there are of you. And as such, there was a huge revolt. Huge greenskin revolt. And the Chaos Dwarves were on the verge of defeat. Almost complete extermination, mind you. But then one group of greenskin decided, oh, we can really get something out of this if we assist the Chaos Dwarves. I bet they'd be willing to reward us very well. So this particular group of greenskins called the Hobgoblins decided to betray the other greenskins and essentially re-enslave them and bring their heads on a platter for the Chaos Dwarves, who then rewarded them with not freedom, because I mean, come on, why would they do that? No, instead, they made them the masters of the slave. So now they're the headmasters, essentially, like the taskmaster with the whip, keeping the slaves in order and whatnot. The hobgoblins, obviously being stupid, took this as, oh, yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about, blah, 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 blah. You know, so now the Chaos Dwarves have, what is this? What is it? Chancellor? Why not? But anyway, so now the Chaos Dwarves exist in Zarnagrund with the Hobgoblins as their secondaries and casting their sorcerous little ways. Now, the one thing about the Chaos Dwarves that also sets them apart from, okay, I get it, revolts. Jesus. Now, another thing that sets them apart from their Dwarven brothers is because of the fact that they were taught sorcery, they also received a nice little curse from Hashut to go along with the gifts. Because, I mean, he's a demon, come on, it can't just be as easy as, here you go. No, there's always got to be a drawback. So the drawback is essentially Chaos Dwarves can't live as long as regular Dwarves. See, like this guy is 201 years old. Chaos Dwarves probably live to about 150. And they turn into stone, basically, is what happens. They turn into stone as per the curse. Yeah. And also, they tend to, because of their usage of magic, they tend to get mutations. Take Lord Daxine of Therizon over here, who's got the teeth. Yeah? So that's kind of how you can tell he's a Chaos Dwarf. It's because he's got the mutations. So, that's kind of a basic summary of the Chaos Dwarves. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the Chaos Dwarves, but they do have a very interesting little backstory, so that's why I pretty much knew that off the top of my head. And Sylvania, the Vampire Counts. Alright, so, like what I was saying previously about the Vampire Counts, the Vampire Counts... Sorry, to take a sip of my drink. The Vampire Counts were originally just regular human beings. There was a, well, let me go down here and show you guys something. If you see down here, this is the land of the Tomb Kings, essentially. The Tomb Kings are a very ancient race, and as you can see, they have turned into skeletons. That's a whole nother story for a different time. But to sum up, one of these Tomb Kings, before she was a Tomb King, or, well, before the Tomb Kings were actually Tomb Kings. Oh, turn down the game music. Sorry about that. Let me adjust that. But before the Tomb Kings were actually Tomb Kings, one of them, a queen, dabbled in the dark necromantic arts and created vampires. Well, technically vampires were created by Nagash, but anyway. She created her own little sect of vampires and brought them north. And they would eventually become this little family here, the Von Carsteins, who would be infected by them. Anyway. Is that music better, by the way? Is that lower? Is that good? I feel like it is, so I'll just keep talking. But yeah. Anyway, so the Von Carsteins, Emperor Vlad, and all of them. Now this is an interesting family, for sure. I don't remember much of the specifics, but I can tell you that Emperor Vlad, or Vlad von Carstein, is one of the most powerful beings in the existence of the Warhammer world. Not only is he an incredibly powerful just vampire, but he's also a very powerful, like, in the tabletop game itself, he is like crazy powerful. Some would say overpowered, but he has a very high point cost. Yeah. Two people got married, whatever. Can people fucking stop running off and get married? Jesus Christ. But anyway. So the vampires, when they came out as being vampires, because like I said, they were counts in the Empire, and nobody knew they were vampires. When they came out as vampires, they conducted a massive war upon the Empire. Again, that's what we're seeing right now. This war took 500 years before, this took place 500 years before what would be known as the end times. So technically this is considered the past, right? And that particular night was called Geheimnisnacht, hence why the mod is called Geheimnisnacht. So yeah, the vampires are now like parading over the Empire, kicking ass and taking names. And again, I don't remember the specifics, but I think it had something to do with a ring that Vlad von Karstein had that pretty much made him like unbeatable. He had that ring, and it allowed him to lead the undead hordes, and then the ring was taken from him, so on and so forth. Now, the thing about the vampires in Warhammer, unlike vampires, well, not honestly, a lot like vampires in, think Oblivion, like how the vampires were, how like there was one of the counts of the one of the cities, I don't remember specifically which one, like from Elder Scrolls, sorry, how they're not really like out in the open all the time. Like they're more of kind of like a oh yeah, this world is very heavily influenced by Lord of the Rings. Just FYI. They've made that very clear, like, on multiple occasions. They're like, oh yeah, we pretty much wouldn't even have Warhammer if it wasn't for, like, J.R.R. Tolkien. So, yeah, but anyway. Yeah, like, think, like, how in Oblivion, how the vampires were. Not the vampires in Skyrim, because that's kind of where the vampires started becoming, like, crazy. But in Oblivion, like, there was that one count who was a vampire, and they try to live amongst humans rather than just feasting on them, at least the von Karstein family, because they see far more benefit to, you know, having a steady food supply and keeping their sanity than not. Because again, like most vampire worlds that exist nowadays, vampires go feral if they don't eat, and that's pretty much what happens with these vampires. Keep in mind, this was all created back in the 80s, so yeah, you know, keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, they're vampires. They're the vampires here, pretty much the vampires in any other universe, though. They're super strong. They live super long. They have to drink blood to survive. They're not really, like, obscenely cruel, but they're also not very nice. You know, if you know what I mean. They kind of view humans as pets. Like, not, like, basically saying they don't go out of their way to just fucking murder whole villages of humans, because it's like, well, that's perfectly good food. Why would I do that? Why would I kill this perfectly good food? Can't they just drink cow's blood? And no. They need human blood. Because in this one, being a vampire isn't like you evolved into a vampire like some of these newer age vampire theories are. Being a vampire is very much a curse. It's from necromancy, black magic, and all that stuff. That pretty much Nagash, who is pretty much the great. You could say there's two great enemies in the world of Warhammer. The first being Nagash. He was a great necromancer who pretty much created the undead. He created the Tomb Kings. Like, he cursed the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings were just regular people. Think Egyptians, if you will. And Nagash cursed all of them and turned them into fucking skeletons. But they live forever, but they're skeletons. So, yeah. Sucks to be them. And the other great enemy is the ever-chosen which is basically the chosen champion of chaos, who is he's the guy who led the chaos forces to victory in the end times. So, yeah. Yep. Again, I don't know very much about vampire lore, surprisingly enough, the vampire counts. I know Bretonnia, I know the elves, because like I said, the elves have pretty extensive stuff. I know a lot about the chaos gods. I know... I'm kind of spotty on the dwarves. I mean, I know a lot of stuff about the dwarves. Not so much their history, but their personalities and the way their armies operate, like slayers and stuff like that. And yes, the Tomb Kings have boners all the time, 24/7. Yeah. And I know a pretty decent amount about like the Empire, not specifically the different counties. That's something you'd have to look into somebody else for. But yeah. Well, Moody, I am waiting to cleanse these areas of orc filth. Like before, it was automatic. It would just happen, but now it looks like you have to keep doing it, which I'm just now dawning on me. Plus, I'm building up the amount of money I have. I don't have enough money, and I'm trying to have an heir. I need a son. Nice, I got him. Oh, I can upgrade. Yes! My exterminations did very well. Awesome. Upgrade to a castle. Yes. Okay, well I did it. Fuck yeah. Alright. And like I said, the other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have a son because my dwarf king is 203 years old. No fucking way. He's infertile. Oh, fucking Christ. We gotta legitimize the bastard. Don't care. I have an heir now. I didn't realize that my dwarf king was fucking infertile. What's up, Sniper? I would say I would be more prone to say the Elder Scrolls world looks like Warhammer because Warhammer's been around a lot longer than Elder Scrolls has. But I see what you mean, yeah. Like I said, Warhammer, like I think the discussion about like a lot of people try to say that like Warhammer looks like Warcraft. Is there sea people? No, there's not really. I mean, you have no, there's really not sea people. Like there's the only people who actively use the sea like on a regular basis are the Dark Elves, and that's because they raid. They're basically pirates. They fucking raid everybody. Like, don't get me wrong, there's quite a few raiders and shit that come out of the Chaos Waste, and Bretonnia arguably has the largest navy of everyone, and then you've got the Talea and Estalia, which, again, are known to have big, like, fleets, because they're like free cities, basically. Think like Venice during like the 15th, 16th century. So yeah, I mean, you got that too. Oh, dude, look at those stats. 16, 14, 25. Oh, but that sucks. But 15. Yeah, that's who you marrying, boy. That's just who you marrying right there. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there's no sea people like Naga. I don't think there's any Naga like that. I mean, you've got the lizard men, which look like Naga, I guess you could say, but they're brainless fucking soldiers. They're automatons essentially. They're bred for war, and that's all they're really meant for. And again, that's lore in itself. But they have kind of a Aztec appeal. Oh, I mean, yeah, it could have been a South Park reference, and I just didn't catch it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now, like the sea people, little sea people, sucking from a hose. Anyway. What do you mean, Ozan? I'm not quite sure what you mean. What's the most useful and disastrous traits on characters? I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends really, like the combination. It depends on what it is. I mean, there's a lot of like traits you don't want, like infertile, for example. That's a terrible fucking trait to have when you're trying to have an heir to the throne. To me, it's contextual. It depends. Like, it depends on what's going on in your family or whatnot at that time. So, like, drunkard is a pretty shitty trait to have because, look, -2 stewardship, -1 to personal, -10 to church, -5 to attraction. And the only +10 you get is for same trait. So, basically, you're only attracted to other drunkards. I'm not a big fan of cynical. I don't really like deceitful. Like cynical, that's what it does. -20 to piety, -5 to church opinion, and -10 to opposite trait opinion, but +2 to intrigue. So, I mean, you still got that, but again, I'm not a big fan of cynical. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad, Sniper. I am very glad, sir. It means a lot to me that people actually like to watch me do stupid shit sometimes. I'm not very good at this whole streaming thing, but I try. Some other ones that I like, I love Brave. Brave is fucking phenomenal. Like, look at that. +2 to martial, +1 to personal, +10 to morale defense, +10 to vassal, +10 to anything that gives you plus vassal anything. That's good shit. That is good shit. Faithful hunter, tricky, faithful. One other really interesting thing about the Warhammer world, by the way, if you guys are actually interested in this this world, there's a lot of really big games coming out. Like, again, me and Moose were talking earlier about Mordheim, which is like a turn-based it's like a turn-based strategy. Well, I wouldn't really say strategy, more like a turn-based RPG kind of. I don't know how you would describe it really. I'm trying to think. Like, you move your guy. It's like a war. I don't know if you've played Blood Bowl. It's similar to how that operates. Or again, if you've ever seen a Warhammer game played. But anyway, and then there's Vermintide. Vermintide is kind of like, think Left 4 Dead, except with the Skaven. That's one race that's not featured in this mod for very specific reasons. Being that you can't go underground. The Skaven are basically a race of rat men. They're rather large rats that are pretty much men that have conscious thought. And they're sneaky little bastards. They're what they are. And pretty much the Skaven operate underground, and they have yes, like here, sort of like Heroes and Might and Magic on a larger scale. Like the maps are much bigger. There's traps and shit like that. It's like you trying to play D&D. If you've ever played D&D before, it's much closer to that. Yes, this mod's actually very easy to install. Sort of. Well, okay. Let me think about what I'm trying to say here. This mod is relatively easy to install. It used to be you could just subscribe it directly from the Steam Workshop, but for some reason Steam has discontinued that like it won't let you do it for some reason that hasn't been explained to the developers. They don't know why. So basically, what you can do is yes, I haven't played Might and Magic 7. I liked 5. I haven't played. I wasn't much of a fan of 6. It just felt like 5. Just, eh. But anyway, sorry. So actually, here, let me just show you, since I mean I'm just dicking around here anyway. Yeah, I can. Yeah, most certainly. I'll put a link to this mod. It's an amazing mod. It deserves to be linked. Excuse me. My throat is getting dry because I've been talking for 4 hours straight. There it is. All right, Geheimnisnacht. Now, like I said, you used to be able. Yeah, see, look, Workshop has broken the mod, so you have to follow these instructions. Now, I'm going to show you how to do something, because this is a total fucking bitch. And it took me so long to figure this out, and I just wanted to kill a fucking baby goat, because it made me so mad. I haven't actually played the Game of Thrones mod. I do like Game of Thrones. I'm only on like the 3rd season though. I was watching it 6 or 7 months ago, I think, and I just never got a chance to finish it. So anyway, yeah. So don't use my account information. Well, actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and put this over there. Excuse me. Alright. So basically, you go to my first question though, before I say anything, have you actually registered your CK2 CD key? Because with TV shows, I'm different about TV shows. With books, I can do that. With TV shows, I like to watch the TV show, and I like to be surprised. Especially with, I mean, I don't get surprised very often, so it's really nice when I actually get surprised. To sum up how I feel about that. But anyway, what I was saying, if you haven't registered that information, you go to redeem code, okay? And you copy your CD key out of there. I'm sure you know how to do that. Go to library, go to view CD key, so on. Then you copy it, and then you paste it right there. You click I'm not a robot, redeem code. Alright. And then you just need to click on this link that I'm going to provide to you when I get to it again, because I didn't copy it before. All right. And I'll post this in the chat for those who want to get the mod. There you go. There's the mod link, anyway. And basically, like I said, you scroll down here and you download it directly from there. Alright. And then, after you download it, you go to this folder I'm about to show you. Like, again, if you know where your users and then basically your documents, you just go to your documents and where is it? Paradox Interactive, Crusader Kings 2, and you go to mod and you paste it right there. Well, you actually have to extract it. Notice how this is extracted, yet none of the other ones are. You extract this folder or this file and then this file. There'll be those two files in there, and you just extract them there. So yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you install it. It took me a minute to figure that out, but just because of like trying to figure out how to register that fucking game, it took me days, and I was mad because I wanted to play this fucking mod because this mod is amazing. It's so well done, so well done. But anyway, yeah. So that's how you do that. I hope that helps you. Queen Freda. Why the hell isn't he? The Dwarvish Alliance. These lances says, the clan halls forges mines in them. In turn, the subject must provide back a proportion of all gold and precious minerals extracted from the leased lands, and the levies placed upon their holds, which are highly esteemed, bear a title of for blah 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 blah. Yes, Crusader Kings 2 is fucking amazing. Like, again, I'm not really showing it very well because this mod's very specific, and playing each race in this mod is very different from the other races. So, like, with the Dwarves, I'm not being as aggressive as I could be. But, yeah, this game is absolutely recommended. This is probably one of the best strategy games I've played in years. And as far as like a medieval RPG kind of like story-driven strategy game, it's the best. So yeah, it's definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your time. Speaking of which, I noticed I said I was only going to stream this game for an hour, and I ended up streaming it for 2. Good morning, Jill. I crazy. I don't know what you mean. Who's Jill? Gil? Jill? Gil? Yeah, and it does take a little bit of time to understand as well. So that is something. That is something. Why do I have dig dig Karakdar? Imprison him. I don't know why I'm in. Was my spy master a fucking goblin? My queen hates my guts. I'm an unfaithful bastard. Or no, I'm an unfaithful lecher who acknowledged his bastard and then legitimized his bastard. I have completely shat on her cornflakes. My love, you are my high almoner. Why would you? Oh, she's depressed. Oh, I feel so bad now. She's a drunkard and she's depressed. But she's diligent. She is diligent. And she's infertile. Do dwarves become infertile after like a certain age or something? Oh, that's why I can't declare war on anybody, because I have fucking an army raised. Well, let's go to war with some greenskins, shall we? Reconquest of Undrevarbar. Yes. Let war be joined. Go, my dwarves. Commit heinous acts of brutalness upon them. Dude, they have a fucking magnificently large levy. Look at that, 3,446 guys. Their fucking levy is so big, I don't even have enough men to take their goddamn city over. Kind of nonsense. Do we even have enough guys? No. Gotta call my guys in. You know, I never really played Masters of Orion. Like, maybe I was too young at the time? I don't know. I don't really know why I never played it, but I never played it. And yeah, like the closest I played COD or Battlefield. I would like Insurgency more, but it gets what do you mean, where are you streaming at anyway? I don't know. My room? I don't know what you mean by that. In the United States? Yeah, I'm streaming there. South Carolina, to be more specific. Anyway, yeah, see, like, what am I trying to say here? Like, I've played, like, Galactic Conquest, yeah? And, I'm a huge fan of Galactic Conquest, but I just never played Moo. I never played Moo. I have heard a lot about Moo 3 and how it basically killed that whole like franchise. It buried it so deep in the ground that a lot of people have forgotten about it. Yeah, but but to iCrazy, COD or Battlefield? I mean, if the decision is between COD or Battlefield, I would have to choose between COD or Battlefield. If I had to choose, I probably couldn't pick one because I think they both have their merits. I do like Insurgency. My problem with Insurgency is it got really repetitive after a while because it just doesn't feel balanced. And like the maps, a lot of the maps are heavily skewed in favor of whatever, like generally like defending sides and whatnot. Like the defending side has such an advantage over offending sides when you're playing like PvP. It's just, I don't know. But I like the game. It's fun. Like the core gameplay of it is amazing. The idea behind it was amazing. But again, I haven't played it since it was launched, so yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it for a really long time. Mount and Blade Warband is quite amazing. I love Mount and Blade. I think that they're some of the best games series that's ever existed. I mean, with Fire and Sword it was alright, I suppose. I didn't really give it enough time to have an honest opinion about it, but to be honest, the whole guns and Mount and Blade thing just bothers me. It just, the guns are just like one shot, one kill, and it's like, that's no fun. I'm more into the combat system, like with the melee. However, I haven't played Napoleonic Wars, and I have heard from quite a few people that that's good. So, but and we've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen, full circle. Have you any attention on Star Citizen? Star Citizen. Yes and no. Yes, as in I think it has to be amazing. Because I've watched like, ooh, I can usurp that horde of Varnan. Yeah, I'm gonna usurp that. Yeah, let's usurp that. Give me your title, bitch. Anyway, sorry. Why would single player in Bannerlord be a bad thing? Oh, if there's no single player. Okay, I got you. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Yeah, that would be a absolutely massive letdown. I genuinely hope they do not do that. Honestly, I'm more of a single player kind of guy anyway. Like, I like multiplayer, but I will admit I very much am kind of a hermit. But anyway, what was Star Citizen? Star Citizen. You know, Arlen, I might try the 1860s mod. I might try it out just to see how it is. I used to play a lot of Warband mods back in the day, but I've gotten really, I don't have time. I really don't have a lot of time lately. Yeah, Battlefront seems it's kind of weird that they took out the space battles and they just added it in. But at the same time, if you actually see like some of their air battles, I mean, they look pretty cool. And I somehow doubt that they're going to release the game without any space battles whatsoever. Honestly, I think they're going to release it as a DLC later. I truly believe that, or an expansion, or something. Something like that. That just totally fucking seems like something they would do. But Star Citizen. Let me touch on that subject real quick. I'm excited because it looks amazing. Let's be honest. If anyone says anything less than it looks like a damn fun fucking game, they're lying. They're absolutely lying. Straight to your face, and they should probably stop doing that. Because that game does look really cool. But I don't know. I think they've built up a lot of hype, and they've got some serious shoes to fill, and it almost looks like it's going to be a game that never truly gets released, especially considering the fact that it's and Moose could probably tell you better than me about that. I know he's spent quite a lot of money in Star Citizen. And again, I haven't actually played it, so I could just be blowing out hot air. So, yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it didn't look fucking badass. But again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I used to put a lot of time in Mountain Blade as well. I just can't remember what mod I used to play. Like Lords of the Realm, maybe? Lord of the Realm? Lord, I don't know, something like that. You know what we should totally do? We should totally make a Star Citizen Commissar Bro thing. Just throwing that out there. Like a corporation or alliance or whatever they call it in that game. Just saying. Did somebody say it was better than Eve? Wait, Star Citizen? Are we still talking about the same shitty? Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for it to go live as well. Well, not all. I mean, there's actually quite a few community founded or kickstarted games that aren't too bad. I mean, I probably can't think of one off the top of my head. Oh, Eve. Let me talk about Eve real quick first. Eve, I like Eve. It's complicated, yeah, but it's not that complicated. It's complicated because it's daunting. It's terrifying. The first time you open Eve, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? And it's, I don't know, I guess honestly the best way to describe it is the first time you play it, it's daunting, it's terrifying, until you realize that you actually have a lot of freedom and you can have a lot of fun. There's a lot of tediousness about it though. It can be incredibly fucking boring,
but at the same time, it can be incredibly fucking amazing. So, yeah, I mean, that's what happens with a sandbox MMO. Think about Minecraft, right? Take Minecraft, where... Sorry, I was reading that Crusade for Talabheim. But anyway, think like Minecraft. You know, for someone like me, Minecraft is incredibly fucking tedious. It's so boring. But I see why people like it. You know, you can build and there's so much freedom and like what you can actually create. The only limitation is your imagination, really. Without trying to sound too cliche. It's whatever you want to do, really. And, I mean, that's fucking awesome. But, again, someone like me who's not very creative, I don't find it to be that much fun. Honestly, the best parts of Minecraft for me are the rain and, you know, just the world itself. It's nice. It's relaxing. So, yeah. Take Eve, for example. Now, Eve obviously is much more cutthroat and brutal. But at the same time, it's not all that cutthroat. People are generally nice and will help you out and teach you how to do things and hold your hand. And there's corporations for everything and players who are willing to teach you and want to teach you more often than not. But at the same time, they kind of give themselves that whole... You know, that whole, oh, Eve is the hard fucking game street cred, just because, I mean, you know, it scares off the people who are not dedicated. Eve is about dedication. I mean, if you dedicate yourself to it, just like any other MMO, then you're going to find a lot of enjoyment and a lot of crazy shit's going to go on. If you don't dedicate yourself to it, you're probably going to be disappointed. But again, it's an incredibly interesting game at its core, and especially it features some of the most interesting, like, wars you'll ever hear about. Just go look up the Second Great War of Eve. That is just probably one of the greatest things I have ever seen. Ever. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. Star Citizen, on the other hand, again, because it's not out, it's tough to really give an opinion on how they would compare. I mean, Eve is more of a strategy game. It's, you know, you worry about skills and you worry about how, like, when to use afterburners and warp scramblers and stuff like that. Yeah, do not ever talk to a goon swarm representative. They will steal your credit card and give you Ebola. Yes. But anyway, like, you know, but Star Citizen's more of a first-person kind of experience. You know, you can move around on your ship and you can fly your ship. Whereas EVE Online, yeah, you fly it, but it's more like you tell it to go to that area. You tell it to attack that target. And there's still a lot of MMO-esque elements that you've seen in other MMOs. Again, it's really just a sandbox because there's a lot of different things that you can do. Whereas World of Warcraft, you can't have massive server-wide wars that changes the politics of Azeroth. It's all narrated and created by the developers. And yes, and a big part of Star Citizen is the multi-crew ships, the actual first-person elements of the game. I mean, again, I'm paying attention to it. Trust me, I'm paying very, very close attention to it. But again, I'm not going to get my hopes up until the game comes out. Because again, they've got some serious stuff. Some serious shoes to fill, basically. They could fuck it up. It's completely possible. And I mean, people are banking on Chris Roberts, and I mean, this is a guy who made, like, flight sims 20, 30 years ago. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying keep that in mind. And the game space has changed. But again, you should probably talk to somebody who's actually played the game. Like, again, Moose. I know Moose has actually played it in its current state, and
more than positive he enjoys it and thinks it's good. So, I mean, that's good enough for me. A game I'm excited about personally is Eternal Crusade, baby. That is right. My sweet, sweet Warhammer 40k MMO. Boom! Oh, yeah. I'm fucking counting down the days, ladies and gentlemen. I am counting down the days. I want that game so bad. This has turned into a mild obsession that I should probably deal with, but you know, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You can press the Joe claim lingos. Oh, just lowering greens. You would be considered a truce breaker, lowering all green skin rulers' opinions of you by 25. Meh. I don't give a shit. Green skin extermination. Let's reconquest. We'll reconquest. Well, see, that's like me. I want the full game. I really want the full game. I want to play it now. Don't get me wrong. I would love to play it. But it seems like a serious financial investment. And I'm not going to get burned on something that I'm going to get my hopes up on and it's going to fucking flop. Don't explain how money works. Go! What was Wingman's show? I don't know what that is. And explain how money... I couldn't even start to explain money. That is... I'm a business guy. Don't get me wrong. Business is my forte. I'm actually pretty good at business. I've managed my own businesses and stuff like that. And I've always been a top salesman and person. So, yeah I'm business is... If there's anything I was probably meant to do... It's business. So here I am on YouTube, not doing business. Sorry. Look at Sylvania, man. Do you see this shit? It's like an amoeba growing. I'm sitting here trying to fucking kill Vlad, and everybody's like, no, kill Vlad. Why don't you want to fucking kill him? He sucks your blood. He's a vampire. I'm actually almost as old as that son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I like it as much as the next guy does. I mean, everybody likes it to some degree, right? I mean, it's not my favorite game because it's hard, and I'm not a big fan of games that, if it's not a strategy game, okay, wait, let me explain it this way. If it's a strategy game and it's hard, I'm okay with that. If it's not a strategy game and it's not a shooter and it's hard, there's way too many games for me to play to spend, you know, like 20 to 30 hours trying to master games I'm never gonna play again. Now, don't get me wrong, Faster Than Light's pretty damn cool, and it sparked quite the. It sparked quite an interest in a lot of games like Cosmonauts and stuff like that I'm happy got a chance. Otherwise, they probably would not have gotten a chance, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It's good. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's a good game. Good game. Wingman. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, see, that's what Eternal Crusade is doing. It's called Into the Warp, or no, not Into the Warp. Warp Echoes or something. The Warp Streams or something. I don't know what the hell they call it. But basically, once a week, they get on, like 3 of them, generally the lead designer, and like, I don't know, some lady, and like, generally they get 3 people on, and they show progress of the game. And I gotta tell you, in the past month and a half, Eternal Crusade has fucking come a long goddamn way. Like, honestly, it did not it didn't look like it was worth my money about 2 or 3 months ago, but they have fucking kicked it up a notch. Like, I mean, they've really started kind of fleshing the game out, and it's looking damn good. I'm so excited for it. So excited for it. Anyway. I haven't played cooperative FTL. Oh, you mean like games that are like Faster Than Light but cooperative? I haven't played those. That would be really fun. I would probably very much like that because my reflexes aren't fast enough for FTL, and that's one of the reasons I suck at it. Into the Stars. It's cool. I like it. I mean, I did a preview for it the day before it came out. The developer contacted me, or did I contact the developer? I don't remember. It happens so often now. One of us, I either contact the developer or they contact me. Anyway, the point is, someone was contacted, and basically they gave me a copy of the game about 6 days before it released, I think. And yeah, I was quite impressed. It's a cool idea. Did I kill it? Oh yeah, I finally got it. But yeah, it's a good game. I mean, the concept's interesting. There's just not enough depth there. There's not enough interaction. Like, I haven't played it since it released. Since, like, the day it released, I have not played it. So, don't quote me on this. I would have to try it again. But as of the day of release, there was not enough depth in the game. The game was crazy fucking hard. I don't know how you're expected to survive. Like, I get you're supposed to keep playing it over and over and over and try the different combinations of equipment, but there's just not enough equipment. And I think they need to polish up the UI a bit. And maybe add in a tutorial, because I didn't realize that there's actually shield color frequencies in the game. I had no idea. Like, you have deflector shields and they're based on the color frequencies. I had no idea. And I did a whole review on the game and did not even fucking know that. So, like, and like my first preview or video of it, like, I had no idea because they didn't fucking say a word. But anyway, yeah, so it's cool. I like it. It's interesting. It's pretty interesting. Commissar, do you like Matrix games like Operational Art of War 3, Flashpoint Campaigns, Red Story, Gary Grigsby's War in the East? What's up, Olives? How's it going, man? Yes and no. Like, I mean, I haven't played any of those games in particular, so I can't tell you. But I do like a lot of Slytherin's games. I love their war games that I've played. Again, I haven't played many. But, like, because, I mean, the first time I played a Slytherin group game was Legion Arena. I'm sure you probably are familiar with that. That was the first one I played years ago. And it was interesting. It wasn't bad. It was pretty simple. And I liked the concept. I kind of wish they would have gone a bit farther with it. But see, that's kind of a lot of Slytherin games. Now, again, I hope they're not watching this stream right now, because they're so kind to provide me with many review games to do for my channel. But one of the things I feel like with a lot of their games is they just never go far enough. Like, they just don't take it far enough. Like, it's like their budget runs out. Now, the games are all polished, they're incredibly detailed, and I like them. But they just, it's like, this could be better with just maybe a couple of touches here or there, you know? Again, maybe my 2 cents, but yeah, I don't know. Like Warhammer, again, and see, something else is, like, with Matrix games and Slytherin, I can't fucking tell the difference between them. Like, I mean, I can't tell when are they the same group? Like, what exactly, what's the difference between Slytherin and what's his face? Or, I'm sorry, Slytherin and Matrix games. I don't know the difference. But, like, Sovereignty is fun. It's a little bit too simple. It's such a cool game. It's basically like Warhammer in its own little universe, but it, you know, different with its own tropes and stuff. But it's just not deep enough. The economic system is not deep enough when it should be. But like the battles are fun, and again, that's like Warhammer Armageddon. Warhammer 40k Armageddon would be so much better if like you could. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that game. That is probably one of my favorite Warhammer games I've ever played. It's so detailed. There's so many different units. There's so many different stats. I absolutely fucking love the voice actors. The voice actors are on point. I've heard people say the voice actors are bad, but I think they are fucking on point. The guy they got for Commissar Yarrick, great. Fucking great. But anyway. But it would have been better if you could have actually controlled the campaign. Like on like maybe a strategic overlay map or something, you know? Because you've got the persistent troops that carry on battle to battle, and sure, you do actually have narrative choices that allow you to choose where to go, but I mean, you don't have any idea where you are. You're just going map to map, really. You don't know what the planet looks like. You don't know like how the fight's going. You know, if you're playing a battle in World War II or like a World War II game, yeah, you can tell you what the battle is. You don't need to see a map. You can fucking Google it and figure it out. Or you have a base idea. Okay, I'm in Russia and I'm fighting. Oh, okay, I'm in Germany, I'm fighting. But like in a game like that, when you've never seen the world, you don't know. You're told to defend Hive City, Armageddon Prime. It's like, what the fuck does that mean to me? So, yeah. But again, if they were able, and I don't know if it's just money. I think it's money, honestly. But if they were able to just take that one extra step, it feels like they could be pumping out like AAA titles every fucking time. Because they make good games. It's just like they're just missing something every time I play them. Okay, I got a lot of comments. Got the Warhammer mod. Nice. Is this ASOIAF mod for CK2? Oh, no. No, this is the Warhammer mod, Jordan. Sorry, I just saw what you said. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Yes, Olives, you're correct. Needs more Day 1 DLC. By the way, good morning, everyone. Good morning. You should probably go to bed. Sovereignty should get DLC. Well, they should finish it. It's not done yet, technically. Slytherin and Matrix merged. Okay, I understand now. Alright, that makes sense. Yeah, so they merged so they're one company. Okay, that's what I was thinking, because I see both of their names on every fucking game they release. And I can't fucking tell who's who. Their games are super expensive for a very big reason. The same, if you remember what I was talking about with Games Workshop, they have a very particular market. They could make their games cheaper, yeah, but what's the point? They're not going to sell more copies making it cheaper, especially if they're releasing it on Steam. On Steam, because of the refund policy, yeah, they could sell games at $5, $10, $20, but people are going to refund it because they're going to be like, oh, this isn't the game I was expecting. It's sort of like, it's the same, it's the whole Games Workshop thing. You only have a very niche market of people who actually want this game. It's not because it's bad, it's just because it's an in-depth tactical war game that takes about an hour per mission, which is a long time in the general, mind span of a lot of gamers nowadays. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who would love to play it but don't want to pay a $40 to $50 price tag on it, myself included. But again, we don't make up the majority of people who buy their games. Generally, it's the people who are going to buy their games are going to buy them, like, on the spot. Like, the moment they hear about it. Oh, Civil War II's out? Okay, I'm buying that. Oh, Alea Jacta Est? I'm definitely buying that. But, I mean, anybody else is like, huh? What the fuck is this? Because they did that with Pride of Nations. And Pride of Nations was pretty much a total failure for them. It was, because trust me, I actually talked to their PR guy about this. I've not the pricing model, but specifically more about the Asiad engine and so on. And he even mentioned himself that, you know, Pride of Nations is it was kind of a bad one. So yeah, you know, I haven't really played Alea Jagd Est. Again, they sent me that game for free, and they highly recommended that I try it out with the Birth of Rome DLC. I just have not tried it. I haven't played it because that's the big thing about their games. They're very thoughty. It's so much thought process that goes into it. It's just not simple, and so it takes time and effort. And I don't know. It's not that I don't mind putting in the effort to learn how to play it and learn its rules and whatever specifics it has to it. But a lot of those war games, especially on the Agiot engine, man, that takes some serious time and effort. You've really got to want to play it. Like, yeah, game be hard, yo. Exactly, Olives. The game be hard, yo. And I don't talk about religion at all. Not just mine, but in general, I just don't talk about religions. People believe whatever they want to believe. As long as it's not hurting nobody and nothing's being sacrificed, people can believe whatever they want to believe. How the fuck did they get 905 defenders in this motherfucker when they literally just captured it? Like, not even a month. Not even a fucking month. In game? Ancestral dwarf gods, I guess. I don't really know much about the dwarven religion in this game, to be honest. Who disliked? I don't know. Maybe somebody who came in on when we were talking about politics, probably. Sounds about right. Oh, this guy. This guy's pro-American. Fuck him. I'm just saying, if you can't like your own home country, who can? You damn dirty goblin bastards. Intercept them. Wipe them out. Send them to a goblin hell. Chancellor. Wait, who wants to be the new one? Oh, this guy. Alright, whatever. He's the new one. Send him in. Send him in. I don't really have a political party, but I am pro-American. I'm also pro a lot of other countries, though, too. I'm not just like a, yeah, America, that's the only country that exists. Vietnam. WW2. No, yeah, I don't know. World politics is an interesting topic, to say the least. I hate everything equally. Turtles? Those turtle sons of bitches. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our jobs. I love how old my fucking king is. This is great. Oh yeah, I'm just a solid, let's see, 215 years old. 215 years young, more like. Ha 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 ha. Who are you? Why do I keep getting this? That was ill done. Leave me alone, you weak bastard. Enforce demands. Get the fuck out of here. Execute. No, revoke the title. Now execute him. Oh, can we ransom him? We could get money. Let's do that. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Garak. Slelishgit. Sure wish I could give my daughter something.
Sweet dearest sister Queen Damer of Kandarenagor.
So I guess around past the age of 200 is about the... Mr. House from Fallout. I don't remember how Mr. House from Fallout sounds. Revocation of titles allowed. Hold on one second, everybody.
Running people over with the Hummy. Wait. Who's... Or, no, I was texting. I was replying back to a text. Girlfriend's mad at me.
She's like, you ain't been talking to me. Like, it ain't like that, baby. It ain't even like that.
I don't want to cut bear. Fuck cut bears. We don't need to cut bear in the kingdom of Zufbarak. That's right. Excuse me. Why does he have that title? They send him a gift. Now revoke it. Nope. He still hates our guts. Kill him. Let's go to war. Go ahead. God and fucking Christ. Of course I'm not. That's exactly what I wanted you to do, Mr. Goblin. I just didn't feel like using it today. It seems like my webcam causes a lot of problems with streaming, so I just don't think my internet connection is strong enough for that, so I just turned it off.
Fuck you, Everfern.
Stupid Everfern. Illuminati confirmed. Commissar Bro, 2015. Commissar Bro, part of the Illuminati, confirmed. A revolt has broken out in Gramaz Batol. equals 1. Come on, you weak bastards. Oh shit, they took over my city. I'm sitting here paying attention as fucking... Screw you, you goblin bastards. I'm taking you to hell. Goblin hell. But I left one guy to defend the fort. Probably not the best idea. Cleanse the green skins. How the fuck did I lose so much prestige? I had 3,200. What the fuck? What the hell? Well, that's no bueno. Oh, probably because I kept revoking those titles and I wasn't paying attention. Good night, I crazy. Have a good night, sir. And I keep revoking titles. Does that take prestige? Nope. I have no idea why they did that then. Well, that's gay. Yeah, I don't suck and see. I should be just getting prestige. Huh. Oh. Well then. Oh, you're crazy? Oh. Oh, I got you. You're crazy. Oh, you're getting off too, Marshall? Well, I'd say we've made quite a bit of covered ground. Oh, look, Sylvania is falling. What the fuck's going on over here? Oh, the Vampire Count army has been defeated. Oh, damn, 6 a.m.? Yeah, dude, go to fucking sleep. Jesus Christ. Get you some rest. There will be other streams. There will be more. There can never be enough streams. I'm actually probably about to end this one in about 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I have shit to do at the school tomorrow, and it's 11 o'clock. So...
Lord Kroreg of Grundrixon claims that Borm of Khazar Verlum is attempting to promote vile heresies. How should I use this information? Let me just keep this information to myself. We ain't gotta tell nobody. We ain't gotta tell nobody. Who are you? Why are you... beating? Who are you beating? Oh, you're beating my ally. Oh, well, I guess I should probably go up there and help him. I mean, who helps allies nowadays? Right. Move all of our soldiers to, what is that? Ungik. Commissar Bro overdose. That's right. That's right. You getting off too, Potato? Good night, good sir. Never cross streams. Are you? I was about to say, Moody, you should probably go to sleep. Jesus Christ, guys! Don't kill yourself for the stream. Don't kill yourself for the stream. Then again, if you start, because you guys started, a lot of you started watching like 5 hours ago. So I mean, it was only like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock when you started watching. I guess it's not too bad, eh? There will be other streams. We will continue them. Like I said, I'm going to cut this one in about 5 minutes or so. I think a 5-hour stream is plenty of stream.
Forward! Let us help our allies!
No, my doggy died. Oh, I'm so sad. My puppy died.
For the stream. What about YouTube or on Twitch? Will I be streaming? I don't know. Depends. Again, they both have their merits, so I can see the appeal of either. I kind of like the YouTube stream for the fact that the chat's nice. But again, the main reason it's, well, yeah, I mean, frankly, the chat's nice. I like that it's faster. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it really depends. It really depends. I'm not particular. Whatever people like more, really. If they like it, and that's what we. I can talk because I'm an adult. You know, whatever people want, I guess. Whatever they prefer, really. Because honestly, I can stream on either which one. It doesn't really matter to me. I guess honestly, and well, I can't stream on both at the same time. That's the problem. If I could stream on both, then yeah, I'd do both. Unfortunately, you can only stream on one or the other. And plus, my internet connection's not good enough to stream on 2 websites at once. Unless somebody streamed my stream. Just throwing that out there. Just saying. Just saying. Alright, march the army back down to the south. Let's clean this fucking mess up. They probably did. They probably did it because Twitch is taking away an entire gaming market from YouTube because more people are finding it easier to Twitch than they are to make YouTube videos and stuff like that. I mean, again, live streaming has its merits. It's kind of cool that I can sit here and talk to everybody whilst playing a game. But at the same time, you get kind of a half-baked commissar who's like tired half the time I'm streaming. Whereas in the videos, you know, I'm more excited and excitable. I'm more energetic, really, is what it is. So I don't know. I mean, it depends. It depends again. They both have their merits, just like everything else has merits and like good stuff and bad stuff. Yeah. Get these rebels off my lawn. This is my land, and I will claim it. Cleans the green skins. Sounds reasonable. And damn, Shoeless, man, you came in on the ass end of the stream, by the way. Just FYI, because I'm about to end it in about a minute. Just have to show up to the next one. Speaking of which, for those of you who are interested in Mordheim, I'm probably going to stream that sometime soon. If there's actually people who are interested in that. I know I like Mordheim, so I think it'll be pretty cool. Yeah? There we go. Now we're getting some work done. Getting some work done. Build me a training ground worthy of Mordor. The next stream, if I'm not drunk tomorrow, will be tomorrow. Or Saturday. It depends. More than as long as I don't have, if I don't have any homework, I might do it Sunday too. I'm probably gonna postpone Superpower 2 streaming for another week. Just because I don't really like how the last one turned out. And yeah, we'll look at it. I might do it again later. Death Dealer. Oh, that's a badass name. Huh, that's pretty cool. Drunken Stream. Good luck, Ozan. If you're playing as like the Norskins up there, that's who I play as. I always play as this guy. Well, that's not who's there right now. But see, Ulfin and Wolfsiege, I play as those guys. I actually took over this whole area. Yeah, that whole area right there is what I took over as Fjellsender. The Kingdom of Fjellsender. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know if a drunken stream is a good idea, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe people will watch. I'll think about it. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro, and I've been streaming for 5 hours. That means, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure mostly gentlemen, that it is now time for me to stop, essentially. But, never fear, for the Commissar Bro shall stream again, and then several more times after that, until eventually I find streaming to be not so much. Yes, totally makes sense. Total sense. It doesn't have to make sense, right? Right. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro, and I will see you all next time.